Hey guys, thanks for joining again. Now, I know it's been some time since we kind of gave an update on what we're doing, but I want to also share that it's been about a month now since actually Sherry's brother and his family came to visit us all the way from Washington to here in Kenya. And so it was really nice to see them, to spend some time with them, and to hang out. And while they were here, we were trying to figure out, or we were planning beforehand, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do together besides just stay here in Kendu Bay. And so, with all the planning and discussion, we decided to go to visit. We wanted to go visit Mombasa. Now, Mombasa is actually clear across the other side of the country, so it's actually on the coast off the Indian Ocean. Now, Mombasa is kind of cool because it's like the second largest city in Kenya, and it's the oldest. So you think about like way back centuries ago when Kenya or Africa was like being like explored by people outside of Africa, but like being on the port, being on water was pretty important, right? So all those port cities are like usually older, and Mombasa is here in Kenya. And actually, I think if I remember correctly, they were saying it used to be the capital before the capital was moved to Nairobi. Anyways, we heard a lot about a lot of good things about going to Mombasa, so we wanted to visit there. Now, once Sherry's brothers they flew into Nairobi, we actually met them in Nairobi, and then from there we need to get ourselves to Mombasa. So there's pretty much you can either like fly there, you can drive there, or you can take a train there. And so based on time and like money, we decided to try the train. We never rode the train here in Kenya, so we thought it would be a cool experience to do together. So, in the whole planning, we kind of found a few things. Like with the train wise, there is two trains. Pretty much, there's one that stops in multiple cities, and that left at 8 a.m. Or you could take a afternoon train, which is like a straight shot, or maybe there's only one stop from Nairobi to Mombasa. So we wanted to leave in the morning at 8 a.m. So we took the 8 a.m. train, and that's the one, it's the inter-county train. So that kind of has multiple stops. And it's about like a 6 hour train ride. Now, with the things online, we were looking, it said one thing like you have to make sure you're keeping time or you're punctual with taking a train because they're very punctual with leaving on time. One of the few things of being punctual here in Kenya. But also another thing was that people were recommending that you go to the train station at least 1 hour before your departure time. And we thought that was kind of strange being a train since it's not like, going to the airport and taking a plane. But we're like, okay, I mean, we don't know anything, so let's just go an hour before. So we got to the train station at 7 in the morning, and we realized why they recommend an hour because essentially you buy your ticket online, but you actually have to print off your physical ticket at the train station. But before you even get to that point, you first arrive and you get your bag, your luggage, whatever, and you go through like a metal detector. Then after a metal detector, you have to line all your bags and luggages into this one, like, I guess, stand line area. And then you wait, and then these dogs come around and they sniff for like probably drugs or like weapons or bombs or something. And then after that, you pick up your bags and then you have to put them through another metal detector. And then you get in a line to get your tickets. And you kind of go to this automatic kiosk and then you punch in your reservation code, your phone number, and they print off a physical ticket. Then you have your physical ticket. You go to a ticket agent. They check your ticket. And after you clear with the ticket agent, then you go inside the train station. And then there's another like security screen. So there's quite a bit of a process to get to the train station and to get your train. So hence we get it like you have to be there at least an hour beforehand just so that you have enough time. Once you're in the train station, there are like little restaurants and shops that you can get some food and stuff. And with kind of things that we were looking online, they're like, oh, you should bring some food because it is a long train ride and the options are limited on the train. And so we got a little bit of food in the morning time, and then we were finally able to get into the train. Now your ticket has your specific seat and like the train car that you're in. And so actually on the train, you can either get first class or like second class or economy class, whatever. So first class is about 4,500 shillings, which is about $35. And then the adult fare for second class is 1,500, which is about $12. And then children's fare is about half for both classes. But we realized that for us, cost-wise, we wanted to do second class. And once we got to our car, uh, we realized that actually you have like you're in the seats. There's like a little table, and on the table, there's about 5 seats around that table. And so we realized that you're kind of like all facing each other. So it can get, I guess, awkward because you're just sitting with random people that you don't know, and so you cannot face them the whole like train ride. But I think in first class, everyone kind of faces the same direction, kind of like the plane, and then you have a table. I think you have a little bit more like privacy. And the second biggest thing, I think the difference between first class and second class is that I think first class you get access to a food like train car, and so you probably get like more options with like hot foods and drinks. Whereas second class, there's just a little like food trolley cart that kind of goes around, and you pretty much get like, some chips, some prepackaged sandwiches maybe, and some like, instant coffee or like soda. So the options are a little bit more limited. But it was a cool experience. Like our kids loved being in the train. They can walk around. You don't have to like put a seatbelt on. So they got up to go and play with their cousins. Um, and they had these big windows on the train car, so you can kind of see all the surroundings that you're going. Now, my my brother-in-law and his family, it was like the first day of like being in Kenya. And so as they're riding this train car, we go through different parks as we travel to Mombasa. And so you see like zebras, you see elephants, you see giraffes kind of in the distance. And so, it was cool for them. I mean, we've seen it since we've been in Kenya, but it's kind of cool experience to be in a train and you see all these kind of animals, especially since it's so different than being in the US. But, all in all, it was a really cool experience. So I want to kind of share about the whole transportation getting to Mombasa on the train ride. But I want to share more about Mombasa, but I don't want to take too much time either. So we'll share that on a later video. But I hope you found that interesting. And if you're ever in Kenya and you want to take the train, I would suggest that you do it because it's a cool experience, just to kind of see that side of the transportation, and you can kind of see the landscape of Kenya as it changes in the train ride. But anyways, hope you found that interesting, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.